This is Madi Lloyd-Pecha Kucha for EPSY. We're going to be talking about many different things such as what makes a good teacher, the lizard brain, the bioecological model, and how everything affects everything. The first thing we're going to talk about is what makes a good teacher. We have all had these teachers that are good, bad, mediocre, but what have made our favorite teachers so good? Honestly, it all comes down to knowing the subject, the content, having intention, and passion for the kids. For example, in my interview with Mrs. Lloyd, she really emphasized the importance of this in the classroom. The positivity, the relationships, and paying attention to the small things. For example, she connects with a little girl that loves lipstick but is a little difficult. She puts on lipstick if the little girl does not need help in the morning. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the combination of shaping and modeling. Shaping is the process to have a desired behavior, and modeling is observation and imitation. These help with guiding, acting, and leading the students to success. One thing we want to make sure to have is consistency. That is the most important thing. When we want a desired behavior, Mrs. Lloyd follows the I do, we do, you do. This is where we show what we want them to do and then let them do it on their own. However, we have to teach them how because they're not going to know. But we want to make sure that they're learning from their mistakes as well. Now, the next picture is going to be of a lizard. And these are really a part of the education anything. But they are when we talk about the fight or flight response in the brain, which is there's no logic, there's no thought, it's just a reaction of what a student is doing. We can avoid this by giving positive reinforcement over and over. Like I had said before, it's the small things that make everything better. We have good jobs, we can do nice work, as well as just celebrating those really small milestones to know that the students are still cared for. The next thing we're going to be talking about is reinforcement. We always remember the really naughty kids in class and how every teacher handled them in different ways. Reinforcers are consequences that strengthen behavior. For example, this little boy is in the corner. All teachers had different ways of treating these students that were naughty. They were in the corner, they went to the principal's office. However, one thing that Mrs. Lloyd does in her classroom is she sends notes or emails home to parents, as well as the next slide is going to be a picture of a lottery ticket. This is something that she does for a positive behavior system, which is a chance on the children being called on or winning a prize, but there is no guarantee. The next thing that is going to be talked about is identity statuses. Adolescents are always asking questions regarding their life at the moment. We start off with diffusion, which is the student has neither explored options or committed to an identity, which is no progress or no purpose. Foreclosure is the next one, which is a made commitment to identity, but you haven't really explored options, and this is usually made by parents. The next one is moratorium, which is a status where they explore and attempt to establish identity, but there is no commitment. This is not a clear decision, and this can make the student feel anxious and emotional. Then the last one is achievement, which refers to who has explored and made a commitment, and this can become a long process, but they have a commitment. We can see these in the classroom by observing and knowing how to help depending on where they are. Positivity and support is something that is really huge when this is happening, as well as you can see these in homework assignments and personal reflections where they are in these identity statuses. The next thing is psychosocial development, which is the ages of birth to 5-ish years. This is where they develop a sense of trust and if they are or feel safe, which can lead to mistrust, fear, and anxiety. The next stages are ages from 12 to 18 to 20, which is, who am I? We explore different roles, where we belong in the world, who are our friends, and it can also lead to a strong identity and or uncertainty about the future. The last ages are from 20-ish to 60, and this was the question of, did I have a good life? Can I be loved? Can I be loved? Do I have good relationships? And did I make my life count? This can lead to feeling unproductive and or a sense of purpose in the world. The next thing that also helps explain human development is the Bronfenbrenner ecological model. This is where we see the many different interactions with multiple different layers of people in our lives, which is our parents, our family, our friends, our neighborhood, our government, all of the above. There's many different layers in this, and there's about 5. The first ring is school, friends, family, work, and sometimes neighbors. These are the immediate relationships that have significant impacts on the child. The next one is where we talk about the local government, parents, friends, mass media, as well as do the parents, what is their role in work? Are they home a lot? Do they not work from home? Etc. The last one is society and neighbors. This involves societal norms, the economic system, the political system, and the culture. This affects how cultural elements affect the childhood's development. The next one is how I can use these in my classroom. This will help me understand the student's development and how it's influenced by several interconnected systems. Teachers can do this by checking in with the students and the parents, as well as an example would be how a teacher can give empathy to a student with a parent who works a lot. We can see how that's affecting them and if they're getting their homework done. The last thing I want to say is everything affects everything and everything affects the child. It is important to me that I become the best teacher that I can be and understand these topics to better my relationships in the classroom.
here, and then I went share, and then mail. And then this is like my personal email. So then I sent it to like my Morningside email. And then once I had it in my, here, I'll send another video. Okay, so then once I have it in this email, I just pressed click to download here. And then
I called you because it's not even giving me the option. Like, it's not even here. Like, I have downloaded and everything. Like, I have it done. I just can't see anything. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for bothering you. It's not even giving me like the option. Like, I've done it like 5 times, but like, this is my last slide, so where do I go from here? Am I just stupid?
Have you ended the video?
How do I end the video?
Go up to the top, so like where like your Wi-Fi is, and you should see like a little, yeah, press that.